Good morning, everyone. This is a live look at Grand Lake right now, and not long until we see temperatures in the hundreds in Colorado. We have a lot to talk about this morning to keep you safe, from your forecast for the weekend to the people who are even more vulnerable than others.
If you need to get out of the heat, don't forget there will be cooling centers open. Aurora is offering up its libraries for anyone. Denver will have designated places for people to cool down at its libraries, as well as its recreation centers. The cooling centers are expected to stay open through Sunday. Good morning, I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Jordan Chavez. Eric is going to join us in a minute to talk about your commute, but we want to talk a little more about the heat first.
So let's start with meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, keeping an eye on the forecast right now. It's already been a warm few days, but Mother Nature is saying, hold my poodle.
Exactly. It's nothing compared to what's coming today, our second 100-degree temperature of the year, and we'll have a couple more as we go through the weekend. Those temperatures right now not starting to move up just yet as the sun comes out here. Still 39 here in Leadville this morning. Temperatures relatively comfortable now along the Front Range, but look at this timeline here as we go through the day. We could be in the upper 90s by 11 o'clock. We could be at 100 before 1 o'clock. Could hit 102 or 103 in between 2 and 4 p.m. So we're looking at a good 8 hours of high impact heat coming your way in the upper 90s. Here is the forecast high temperatures across the state today. Hot to the west and hot to the east of the mountains, 70s and 80s as we look into the high country. We'll be talking about that forecast for the heat advisory that's in place for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The heat wave will continue until about Monday afternoon, and when this breaks down, we'll be looking at severe storms returning to the forecast. Now, climate experts are particularly worried about our vulnerable communities over these next few days, especially when it comes to neighborhoods that can be around 10 degrees hotter than other parts of the city. Anusha Roy joins us now, and Anusha, this is an issue that goes back decades.
Hey, Corey, it definitely does. And we're particularly in Denver talking about what's known as the inverted L. So we're talking about parts of North Denver and West Denver. These are neighborhoods that have a lot of pavement, but not enough trees, so people don't have shade. These homes a lot of times also don't have AC. Their windows are not meant for these kind of extreme weather events. There's also a history here of underinvesting in these neighborhoods. These are also the same areas that were redlined. That was a practice dating back to the 1930s when people were denied mortgage loans or it was so hard to get one, and that was preventing people from building wealth, and that ended up disproportionately impacting minority communities. Here's the thing though, we are still feeling the impacts of that today with the lack of resources in these neighborhoods, and then again that lack of tree canopy and too much pavement, especially for a weekend like what we have coming. And that is why the city is particularly worried about this part of Denver this weekend, and then in the long run as well when it comes to climate resiliency.
Those parts of the neighborhood or parts of Denver can be 9 to 10 degrees even hotter than the rest of the city. Right. So when you're talking about temperatures of like 100 degrees across Denver, then you're talking about temperatures closer to like 110 in those areas.
The city of Denver said that some studies show that as many as 49,000 people in Denver could be impacted by those even hotter temperatures. You hear the advice all the time, right? Go to the rec center, go to the museum to cool down. But you have to think about that in-between step. Do you have a safe way to get there that doesn't involve waiting out in the heat to get on the bus or RTD or something like that? So coming up at 7 a.m. on KTVD, we've also been chatting with our fire departments who are preparing to beef up their responses to fires in the coming days. They're also saying that their areas are actually more than 30% drier than compared to 2010, which is another factor that they're dealing with going into this heat wave. Reporting live in Denver, Anusha Roy, 9 News.
Yeah, firefighters are on high alert for sure. Anusha, thank you.
Our team is staying on top of the heat for you all weekend long, and you can always check the latest forecast, warnings, and more on the 9 News app and streaming on 9 News Plus.
Now let's get over to Erica Lopez. How's traffic looking out there?
You know, guys, not too bad at all on your Friday morning. We want to start everyone out with a live look from Sky 9. They're over 470 and I-25, where, as you can see, everything is moving nicely on the interstate, on our overhead ramps this morning. Really nothing to worry about along this stretch. And I'd say the rest of the metro is cooperating for the most part as we take you over right now to our CDOT camera. As you get ready to travel on I-25 and Park Avenue, this is going to be one of our more congested spots as you get ready to travel through the North Washington stretch. Again, I-25 Park Avenue, southbound lanes headed away from us. That's where we're seeing a little bit more volume. Definitely seeing a handful of cars headed toward us northbound as well. As we take you over to our map, though, really we're looking at a whole lot of green still. So even though volume is building in a few spots, I wouldn't say we're dealing with any significant slowdowns. We do have one new crash this morning if you're going to be traveling in the area of 6th Avenue in Golden. That's going to be something you'll want to watch out for right around 470 and 6th Avenue this morning. Additionally, we do have some westbound I-70 road work closing off a left lane through the Genesee area if you're going to be headed that way. Only about a 3-minute slowdown coming into Commerce City on westbound 76, so you still have the green light. We rarely get to say that at 6:35 in the morning. Right now, only slowing by about 4 to 5 minutes for your westbound I-70 commute between E470 and 76.
Okay, thank you. New this morning, mosquitoes in Weld County have tested positive for West Nile virus. Health officials say that mosquitoes caught in 2 areas of Weld County tested positive. Those areas are Johnstown, Milliken, Platteville, Firestone, Dacono, and Fort Lupton. County tests positive for West Nile virus, which spreads through the bite of an infected mosquito. No human cases have been reported in Weld County so far.
Health officials say they have found a case of the human plague in Pueblo County. This is the same plague that's known for the Black Death in the Middle Ages, but the CDC says they are rarely any human cases today. Health officials confirmed the case earlier this week, but they still don't know where it came from. Humans can get the plague from being bitten by infected fleas or other animals. Some of the symptoms are fever, muscle aches, and swollen and painful lymph nodes. Doctors say it can be treated with antibiotics.
Right now, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding the man who set fire to the building. Now, they say they have a picture of him. The Sheriff's Office says this happened around 11:30 p.m. on the 4th of July. They say the man was armed with a revolver and a knife when he broke into the building off of Highway 7 about 3 miles south of Allens Park. Deputies say that he set it on fire before trying to light another building on fire. The flames spread to the ground and caught some nearby trees on fire before crews were able to put it out. If you know this man, you are asked to call the Boulder County Sheriff's Office.
This morning, we have new information about the DNA analyst at CBI who admitted to deleting data in criminal cases. Missy Woods told investigators why she did it in an interview last year, and 9 News Investigates got a hold of that interview. An intern found problems in her work, and Woods resigned last year. This interview happened after a review found she deleted and manipulated data in criminal cases. She answered most of the questions with, "I don't know." Eventually, Woods admitted to doing it to avoid taking additional steps.
How did you feel about what you were doing? Did you feel bad about it? Did you feel, or did you wrap your mind?
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it until 5 weeks ago.
The review happened late last year. Since then, CBI learned Woods tampered with DNA evidence impacting more than 650 cases. We still don't know if Woods will face criminal charges. Her attorney has said Woods has maintained she never falsely reported a DNA match.
It is now 6:38 on your Friday morning, and right now Vermont is dealing with some serious flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Beryl. More than 100 people have been rescued and at least 2 people have died. Both of them tried to drive through floodwaters, which, as you can see, are very high right now. Crews are still searching for people in some of the hardest hit areas. And in central New York, they have been dealing with tornadoes. The National Weather Service confirmed 7 touched down on Wednesday. You can see the damage that's been left behind, doors and windows blown out, trees uprooted. This is also part of the aftermath of Beryl. Now, for the rest of the country, it is the heat that we are dealing with, and once again, it is breaking records. According to the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service, June was the 13th month in a row to break a global heat record. Scientists say heat waves are becoming the new normal. And Corey, of course, here we've got to heed the warnings as well as we get ready for the hundreds for the next few days.
Yeah, Jordan, I think today's going to be our second 100-degree day of the season in Denver here, because we had one back in June, and it really has been a hot summer altogether. We're seeing a lot of comparisons being drawn to the summer of 2020 when we had 75 90-degree days. Today will be our 22nd 90-degree day. Back in 2020 on July the 12th, we were at 30 of these 90-degree days so far. So we are well on pace to beat this average, probably in the 60 to 69 day of these 90-degree days coming up. But at least so far, it looks like we will come up short of this record-breaking insanity from 2020.
Still in for some serious heat though, right, Corey? Thank you so much. It is 6:39 on your Friday morning, and we're taking a look at your commute right now. Southbound 225 beginning to slow a little bit between Parker Road and I-25. We're also beginning to see some delays on both sides of 270 as you get ready to travel through Commerce City. A little bit of stop and go on westbound 76 as well coming into Commerce City. And as far as the one crash we're dealing with, if you're going to be headed out in the Golden area, it's along 6th Avenue and Highway 93.
Erica, thank you. We're getting you ready for the extreme heat this weekend. New at 6:30, why doctors say you might not feel the impacts in your body right away. Welcome back to 9 News Mornings. It is 6:43 right now, taking a live look at Grand Lake right now. One of my favorite spots in Colorado. It's absolutely gorgeous there right now. Today we're going to be warming up to the triple digits. Corey has your full forecast, including your sweltering weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Right now, more than 48 million people across the U.S. are under heat alerts. Take a look at this map. Orange is a moderate risk, red is major, and purple is extreme. You can see a lot of the west and parts of the south and northeast are in those colors.
And remember, this heat can be really dangerous. It is the leading cause of weather-related deaths in the U.S., and doctors say you might not even feel the effects until days later. They say heat actually accumulates over time in our bodies, and the more time you're out in the heat, the more those risks add up, and it can lead to heat stroke, heart attacks, kidney disease. If you start to feel dizzy, thirsty, or weak, that could be a sign of heat exhaustion, and you should get into a cooler area and hydrate before it turns into heat stroke. All of this can be especially dangerous for people with heart conditions.
Yeah, that's right. Doctors say that they often see more people in the hospital when it gets this hot.
When their body's exposed to the stress of that extreme heat for long periods of time, that can tip people over to where they start experiencing symptoms of heart failure. But we definitely see patients that have underlying heart failure come in more frequently, and they definitely have an exacerbation of symptoms.
So doctors say if you're planning to get outside at all, to do it in the morning or wait until the evening when the sun isn't at full blast. And if you can't avoid being out in the heat of the day, find some shade, wear light clothing, and stay hydrated. Our 9 News health expert, Dr. Pyle Coley, is going to join us later over on KTVD this morning to talk more about who is most at risk during this weather.
It's going to be so warm over the next few days. Corey is joining us now, and we could potentially break records.
Yeah, I think the record in Denver today is 101, and I think we could probably break that. 100 and 100 again on Saturday and Sunday, so 3 records possible. Here, the imagery outside is starting to look a little hotter. The streets are starting to pick up, so our calm, cool morning is starting to disappear on us here, although the temperature is still relatively comfortable. The heat has not got these temperatures starting to rise just yet, but they will very soon. We have the heat advisories in place out here in the Grand Valley near Grand Junction, and also out here to the east, most of the eastern half of Colorado covered in heat advisories, where we could see temperatures of 100 to 106 degrees. So your body is a machine that does not function when it is overheated, and it'll start giving you warnings, and you need to listen to your body's warnings as you go through the next few days. High heat to the west and to the east of the mountains, 70s and 80s, but full sun in the mountains will feel very hot even for those, especially if you are accustomed to living in the mountains. Here is the heat, excessive heat warnings out to our east. These boxes in orange are the heat advisories. You can see the air circulating in the clockwise fashion around this high pressure heat dome. We are right on the edge of it here on eastern Colorado, which means we could get some cloud cover over the next few days in the late afternoon, early evening hours to maybe give us some cooling. Future cast here showing not too much cloud cover as we go through the morning hours till about 12:30. Maybe start to see some clouds in the area by 2:30, and then by 3 we may have a little bit of cloud cover to give you just a little bit of a break from those high temperatures, but we're not looking at long-lasting cooling from these clouds as the temperatures stay pretty hot all the way until about 8 o'clock tonight. Here's the forecast for Saturday, another hot one here, possibly record-breaking heat along the Front Range and Eastern Plains again on Saturday. The record in Denver for Saturday is 100. The record in Denver is 100 again on Sunday. So we could be looking at 3 consecutive high temperature records being broken here in Denver. This heat dome that's causing this heat wave will break down sometime on Monday, which will open the door for some moisture to start rolling into the area. And combined with the heat and the way that the system snaps back after an extreme, we could get into some severe weather. We'll watch that on Tuesday as the forecast develops.
All right, Corey, we know that forecast is going to be keeping you all very, very busy. Right now, we do want to check in on what your drive is looking like. This is a live look from Sky 9 at 225 and I-70, where we are definitely beginning to see some slowdowns out here and volume continuing to build at 6:48 on your Friday morning. As we take you over to our CDOT cameras, same story out here, a few slow spots. Southbound 225 delays starting to form right around Parker Road. Westbound 270 slowdowns through Commerce City at Vasquez. I-25 southbound and 20th Street slow going coming into the metro right now. And then we do have some eastbound 270 volume at York Street as well, coming through Commerce City on the opposite side. As far as what we're looking like on our map, really still seeing a lot of green. Couple things I want to give you a heads up about. We are dealing with a reported crash in Golden at 6th Avenue and Highway 93, so watch out for that. Travel into Commerce City only slowing by 4 minutes on westbound 76, but we are definitely more colorful on 270. So we were just looking at those York Street delays on the eastbound side. Westbound side, we've got the red light and an 11-minute commute time on that westbound side of 270. Up to a 10-minute backup on westbound I-70 right now for your drive between E470 and 76, so certainly not the worst we've seen. And then southbound 225 commute only slowing by about 4 minutes between Parker Road and Yosemite Street.
All right, Erica, thank you. New this morning, an Olympics opening ceremony experience we have never seen before, and you can take part right here in Colorado.
Coming up on Today, it's early, but our plaza is pretty much already filling up fast with fans of Raul Alejandro, a global superstar. He'll have you dancing into the weekend with a live concert you do not want to miss Friday morning right here on Today.
Welcome back. It is 6:52 right now. It's going to be really hot this weekend, so another reminder to be safe in the heat. If you need to get out of the heat, don't forget there will be cooling centers open. Aurora is offering up its libraries for anyone. Denver will have designated places for people to cool down at its libraries as well as its recreation centers. The cooling centers are expected to stay open through Sunday.
New overnight, more Democratic lawmakers are calling on President Joe Biden to end his campaign. Now more than a dozen House Democrats have spoken about it. After a solo news conference last night and a poor debate performance last month, Democrats say that they are worried Biden is not the strongest candidate. So far, no Colorado representatives have made their opinions public, but Senator Michael Bennet has said he thinks there's a chance that Biden could lose.
It is time for In Other News. Coors Field is getting ready to host its first concert since 2022. Billy Joel is taking over the baseball stadium tonight. Now, the last time he was in Denver was in 2019, also at Coors Field. Tonight's concert starts at 8 o'clock, and there will be 3 more concerts at Coors Field this summer. They're all in September. We've got Kane Brown, Green Day, and Journey and Def Leppard
That's a
to look
fun
forward
lineup.
to. So much fun. Today marks 2 weeks until the opening ceremony for the Paris Olympics, and you'll be able to watch it on the big screen. How cool is this? For the first time, you can watch the opening ceremony in IMAX theaters. There will be a few locations across the metro offering this. You can get your tickets right now. Those opening ceremonies start at 11:30 in the morning on Friday the 26th.
That's awesome.
Brilliant idea.
Yes.
Just get ready for, some craziness because you might be hearing me yelling a lot.
In the theater? You gonna be yelling in the
hooping and
theater?
hollering.
I love it. All right, so it is so hot in Las Vegas. The face on the Sphere is melting. The Sphere shared this video on social media. Yeah, and so you can see, I think here in like a couple seconds,
Poor little guy melted.
I know. It's like the emoji that we all use for like melting, but they put it on the
Dripping.
sphere. I love it.
Just dripping. And
It
that's
makes
what we're going to
sense.
feel like here, like later today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Vegas is on a record right now, a record streak of 115 degrees or above, and today they're expecting 118. So you can see why the sphere is melting.
That's
it's
why you
just
stay
hot in
nice
Vegas.
and cool in those casinos.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? That's what they want to do is keep
Spend
you
that
in
money.
there.
Win that money.
That's the plan. They're paying off Mother Nature to keep people inside at the poker tables. Yeah.
All right, let's get another check of the forecast. Corey's joining us right now. We're staying warm all weekend into Monday.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at record-breaking heat today, most likely. The high temperature in Denver record is 101, and the forecast is to at least match that. But look, we could be in the upper 90s for a good 8 hours, from noon to 8 o'clock tonight. That's some high impact heat there for you. Here's the forecast high temperatures across the region. Lots of 100s out here to the east of the mountains, 105 in Grand Junction, 110 out there in Moab, out to the west of Colorado. Here's the 7-day forecast here. We're looking at the heat wave continuing with 100-degree days both Saturday and Sunday. Upper 90s here on Monday. As the high pressure dome that causes this heat wave starts to break down, we'll open the door for a little bit of moisture here, and that means we'll also have to watch for some severe weather coming up on Tuesday and a cool day on Wednesday.
All right, Corey, thank you. We are staying live for 2 more hours on KTVD, and here are 3 big stories that we're bringing you in the next 10 minutes. Leaders in Denver have a new plan they say will help bring down the cost of housing.
Plus, keeping your home cool in this heat is expensive, but there is a way you can start keeping track.
And Justin, we are learning about a big data breach for AT&T customers. We'll explain what that might mean for you on KTVD and streaming on 9 News Plus.
And it's Friday, so congratulations, you made it through the week.
Woo, baby, the weekend's here. Well, you made it through the week with the 9 News crew. The weekend's here, what you want to do. Go out dancing, maybe taking a show. Head to the mountains, darling, I don't know. I might just kick off my shoes, take a nap till the evening news. Woo, it's Friday morning and the weekend's through.
Now, Forte, mid-90s Forte. Penny is barking about that.
Sports, entertainment news, so you can get out and do the
over your head, then I'm going to cut to your head and you duck!
Oh gosh, 3 and
yes!
Did I do it?
I was kind of working out with you, and I can't get up now. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay.
I would use my right hand, but currently my dog is playing tug right now. There she goes.
We made it through the week. I'll see you back here on Monday, okay?
That's so perfect.